because Joe is the epitome of an F-boy.
1, 2, 3, funky.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you.
Hey, what's up and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. That helps me to be able to put out more of this sort of content, okay? So if you've clicked on this video, you already know we are here to discuss the Joe. But before we get into that, I just want to say that I am still on a high from the masterpiece that is Sinners. Congratulations to the cast. Kudos to y'all for just doing the work and inspiring all of us to do the work as well. Joe is getting on my nerves. Joe is the epitome of an F-boy. I don't care. That is what he's given. I'm going to cover 4 different themes that they touched on in this episode, which is the reason why I wanted to do this in the first place. It just inspired me so much, and I thought that there were a lot of topics and conversations surrounding human condition and just the ways in which we show up as humans in the world. All right, so for starters, generational curses. Joe has a past, which we are familiar with. The fact that he grew up in like a violent household. He saw his mother getting beat, and domestic violence was heavily present in his childhood, which has ultimately impacted him, which is why he acts in the way in which he does, right? Then we see that trickle down to his son, Henry. So in this episode, Kate and Joe, they talk to a counselor or principal. I don't remember what her position was, but basically they talk to her and she tells them like, Henry was violent. He attacked a young lady. Like father, like son, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And instead of addressing the situation head on and trying to find solutions, Joe gets defensive. Anyone will tell you that when truth is presented and an individual is defensive or combative, that typically is an indicator of guilt, okay? And that's interesting to me because while I know a lot of us want to feel like Joe is, oh, he's so far from who I am, he's so far-fetched from me and the people that I know, I think what's so fascinating about Joe is the fact that his flaws mirror a lot of our own. Now, we may not be as extremely flawed as Joe is and take the actions that he does, but yeah. So let's get back to childhood. Obviously, our upbringings, shape us into the human beings that we're going to be. Joe is a prime example of that, and it's, like I said, interesting that he doesn't like the truth of it. So what that does is now you see your son is acting out kind of like you do, okay? And instead of addressing like, okay, yeah, this is something that I need to get a handle on because now it's impacting my seed, he wants to combat people that bring truth to his face. So that was interesting because I'm like, that's common. Denial and lying to oneself. And then I wanted to discuss, we're on the topic of generational curses, right? The dinner scene with Kate, her sisters, Joe, the men, and all the people that were involved in the dinner scene. And before discussing that and deep diving into that, let me know down below if you feel like these dinner scenes are on point or are they like overly dramatic. Because and Why Did I Get Married, they had the dinner scene, and then that was like the climax, and then we saw that here in this episode where Kate and Joe throw a dinner, they invite everybody over, the truth starts coming out, and then we get the fork throw, which was a great comedic touch. I love that. So yeah, I was interested in the family scene because a lot of people were annoyed with Kate's twin sister, one of the twins, because of her truth telling, and that is definitely art imitating life because I see that often. I think Amanda Seales is someone who delivers the truth often, and a lot of people get annoyed by her, and so I'm just like, okay, why are we easily annoyed by truth tellers but we accept sweet lies so beautifully? Like, if the lie is sweet, baby, give it to me, okay? And that is problematic. Now, I will say this. I don't agree with delivering harsh truths. I think that there's a way to deliver the truth and be graceful about it. Niceness versus character and integrity. Oh, I love this because this is so real life. Nice is pleasant, agreeable, and satisfactory. Niceness is not an indicator of boundaries. Nice, when we say agreeable and satisfactory, people pleasing, and chaos. You could be nice all day long, but if you don't have character and integrity, which we're going to get into, it's like that means you don't have any values or morals. You're just out here people pleasing. And Joe is a great example of that. Character is the mental and moral qualities that are distinct to an individual. Integrity is being honest and having strong morals. Morals, a person's standards of behaviors and beliefs. So an example would be, let's say I'm nice and I'm a kind person, but I'm a Joe. So I'm nice in your face, but I will stab you in the back. I'll be disloyal to you. I'll cheat on you. And I might, physically harm you, which are the things that Joe's does. Whereas someone with character and integrity, it's like, okay, I'm kind to people. I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't kill, I don't steal, all of those things. It's important to me to stand on business regarding like not harming other people. There was a story on The Underground, which was a series with Journey Smollett, and it was about two wolves. So the tale of two wolves is the dark and the light within us. Whichever one you feed is the one that's gonna create the kind of lifestyle that you will have. If you feed the darkness, whether that be lust, envy, greed, those sorts of things, then that's what is gonna be reflected back to you in your life. If you feed the goodness, harmony, peace, community, honesty, tranquility, all of those things, that's what's gonna be mirrored back to you in your life. Obviously, we're seeing Joe battle with that, which he consistently battles with that. He usually chooses to continue to feed the dark wolf, which is what creates chaos. I wanted to give like a worldly example of this. What's going on right now in current news? Shannon Sharpe. Nice guy. Seems to be nice at least, right? But clearly lacks character and integrity, because why are you connecting with a 19-year-old in the way in which you connected with her? You have no boundaries, you know what I mean? You never wrote a checklist about, okay, this is the age range that I'm gonna be messing with, and this age range that I'm not gonna be messing with. You work for Disney. It never clicked in your head to say, you know what, I'm not gonna mess with any women under the age of 35 or what have you. Saying that to say, Joe, once again, is not far-fetched. His lack of character and integrity is not far-fetched from real life people. And I'm not saying that Shannon Sharpe is, as deep on this, on that end as Joe is, but what I'm saying is that it's definitely something for us to think about, something for us to analyze as a people, is how are we showing up in the world? Feminine intuition versus masculine manipulation. I love this. I thought it was important to touch on this because I really felt it deep down inside my spirit. Specifically between Bronte and Joe. First of all, I love her name, by the way. Bronte, I think that's a cool name. She had a gut feeling that something isn't right. I go down to the basement. He got a lock on the door. He got this weird cage situation and I got locked in. Something wrong with Shorty. Now he's dangling keys in her face. Got her an apartment to unlock her. I heard the singer Mario say in an interview recently that he knew how to unlock women but didn't know how to protect them. Saying that to say, so Joe is real good at unlocking. Common F-boy quality. He unlocks her, he's getting her to trust him. And in the midst of it, she's still kind of feeling a little like weird about who he is as a person. And so she says, I'd be lying if I said like I didn't feel like weird when I saw the cue box situation that he does his dirty work in downstairs in the basement, because it made me think about what they said about your wife, your late wife, and how when she would hurt people, she used this cue box situation. What Joe do? Instantly lie. Instantly, like he was ready to lie about the situation. Oh no, I feel you, because I felt the same way. Like I couldn't believe Love was doing the things that she was doing. He lied to her and manipulated her. And I'm saying that to say, like, women, a lot of times we really have to trust our intuition and our gut feeling. I'm not judging her because we're human, and we want to see the best in people for the most part. And so when we do that, especially with the wrong person that is attempted to manipulate us in order to control the situation and get out of it what they want to get out of it, you end up in a situation like Bronte. Now, I don't know what's going to happen from this point forward because I stopped at episode 2, but the foreshadowing is there. She could have potentially saved herself, but instead she is slowly falling into the trap that Joe has laid out for her. Fear of marriage. I remember watching an episode of Carisha Please with Ari Fletcher on it, and they both kind of laughed off the idea of marriage. Like, I'm not in a rush to get married, is what they were pretty much agreeing on, because of how they've seen married men handle themselves in a very embarrassing manner. And I thought that was interesting because I am a 34-year-old woman. I have like friends and family members close to age. And out of my friends and family members that's close to age, I got one sister that's married and I have a cousin that's married. And I think that speaks volumes in the fact that a lot of women aren't necessarily rushing to get married. And it's because of the actions of people like Joe, okay? And I'm like, you know, it's like, dang girl, Tati, you taking it serious, but I'm taking it serious because I'm like, this is real life. Like, this is how we're seeing firsthand with this episode, the lead up of like F-boyness, like, you know, how the manipulation tactics and getting one woman on your side versus the other woman and all of the things, which is very like predatorial, if I'm honest. Is predatorial the word? It's giving predator is what I'm trying to say. But basically you literally see Joe, right? His life right now seems damn near close to perfection. Him and Kate got his son back. He got his name back. He moved back to New York. He got the bookstore. They're practically celebrities, and it's still not enough. Especially when Kate clocked his teeth. So back to the point of not liking honesty. If you are an individual that doesn't like honesty, you're going to want people around you that can't be honest with you. And like I said, I'm not talking about mean and rudeness. I'm talking about just honesty, even honesty with love. Joe doesn't like it. So now he's becoming less attracted to Kate, his wife, and more attracted to Bronte. Shorty, she doesn't know you yet, but he is so unaware of who he is as a person. He has that void inside of him because he hasn't dealt with his childhood trauma. Joe needs therapy. Okay, he been needed therapy, but more so now than ever he needs it. And I'm just saying all of this to say this episode was beautifully crafted. I even like the decor in their home. The like wallpaper, the floral wallpaper. It's such a nice touch to me. I can tell that they put a lot into the design of everything. I love their like brownstone. I think they live in a brownstone. If not a brownstone, their New York home. Very beautiful. And I think that it's shot well. So yeah, I wanted to touch on those things, y'all, because this is like real life, like I said. And I wrote this: once Joe is challenged, he's ready to connect intimately with another woman that doesn't fully see him. Once you fully see him, it's over with for you. You getting cheated on, or you getting off, or you get what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't like to be fully seen, and it's because he didn't look at himself. I was watching Diary of a CEO, which is my favorite podcast. And he has episodes. His name is Steven, the guy that hosts it. He has episodes on YouTube. I was watching an episode recently, and he had a monk on there. And the monk said, maintain the purity of your intentions. And I said, oh, I gotta definitely put that into my review for Joe, because his intentions aren't pure. And that's a lesson for all of us. You know, we don't have to be perfect. But when you are operating in a space with individuals, with humans, with energy, it is imperative that you check yourself and at least make sure that you are intending good. Even if you make a mistake, your intention should be pure. And half the time, I'm sure if your intentions are pure, it's going to be very hard to make a big chaotic mistake, okay? Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, please like, comment, and subscribe. When you do that, that helps the channel. That helps me produce more content like this for you. I appreciate you so much. Shout out to the cast and crew of Sinners, baby. We up. Have a good one. Bye.